So let's move to higher education, and we'll start with you, Representative Poppe, in light of your service on the Higher Education Committee. What do you see happening in this legislative session? Obviously, this is an appropriation year. Both the state system and university system have proposals before the legislature, and the legislature has to make some decisions. How do you think it's going to turn out? What do you think they should do? Well,
I do think the legislature should increase the governor's proposal, because I think that's underfunded, and certainly, our public institutions need to have support in order to be able to function and in order to be able to provide the opportunities for students. When we think about education, and if it's a 2-year program or a 4-year program, whatever a student is going to go into, we need to do what we can to reduce their debt. The tuition should be as low as it possibly can be, and we also need to provide the services that make it possible for them to be able to get through the educational system in the 1 year, 2 years, 4 years that they start out, because that also increases the debt. If they can't get the classes they need, if they don't get additional support services that they might need to be successful, that adds to the cost. And again, that's a student debt is the greatest debt that many people face right now. They're stuck in that. They can't buy homes. They can't start families. There's a ripple effect all the way down. So increasing funding in higher education, I think, is an important thing to do.
Senator Brzezinski?
Agreed. And I think one of the things, maybe we can all agree on this, but the one thing that's really new in this year's session is the number of people have been in my office talking about worker shortages.
Yes.
That they can't find people, and it's across the gamut. And so there's not like one industry, it's in every industry that, and the other thing I'd say is we can do a better job of, there's this stigma of not going to a 4-year college, and our kids we as the grown-ups need to get rid of that stigma that it's okay to go to Dunwoody or a Hennepin Technical School. And then thirdly, I think a big concern for me is the college loans, because us as the baby boomers age and our nest egg is our home, and we're expecting this generation to come behind us and buy our homes from us, and all of a sudden they're going to go to a bank and say, I need a home for this, a mortgage for this loan, and they're going to look at their student debt and go, no, you don't qualify, and then we're going to kind of have a wake-up call that we missed the boat on this one.
Senator?
Well, I agree with the 2-year degree. I mean, for years I think we emphasized the 4-year degree, not too much. I don't think that's the right term, but I think we've seen an awful lot of 4-year degree college kids coming out not getting jobs, and now we have a real job shortage. So the 2-year degrees I really like. The industry is really shorthanded now wherever you go. I mean, that's all we hear. We need jobs, we need jobs. But there is an investment to be made. I mean, I know I went to a 2-year degree, and without that 2 years, I probably wouldn't have been able to, go as far, up the success ladder, if you will, without that. And may have gone better with a 4-year degree. But the point is, I had to invest in that, and it's certainly a good investment. Is it expensive? Yes, it is. Can higher education be looked at and maybe be a little more cost effective the way they run that operation? I think it behooves us to take a real big look at that, because it's becoming very expensive. And you have politicians running around, and now you're going to hear that, of course, with the presidential election, that we need free college. Well, nothing's free. Anybody that says that is really fooling the public, because somebody's going to pay for that. But it still is a good investment, and I'd like to see it come down, the tuition, absolutely. But there's ways I think that we can do that.
Representative Anderson?
I agree, too, that the students have to have some skin in the game. But I would support increased funding for the state grant program to give the kids, students, a little bit better nudge along in the pretty expensive process of going to college. You mentioned interest rates, Senator. I had a lady in the office, a younger gal in her 20s. She was working 2 jobs, and she was making her interest and principal payments on her student loans. But as you mentioned, it was really handicapping her of providing for her family. So, and I don't understand I realize that the default rate on student loans is quite high, but for those who are making a good, solid attempt to make those loan payments, they should get a lower interest rate. The 7-8% interest rates in today's world is way, way over what the market needs to be. So lowering those interest rates and helping kids make those payments more affordably. And one thing I'll add about Minnesota, I think, is a good thing. We have a PSEO program. I was talking with a superintendent at one of the border schools, and other states, North Dakota doesn't have a program like PSEO. So our kids can take some classes when they're still in high school and get a year or even two of college credits, which really helps lower that bill when they get finished and get that education. So Minnesota does a good job, I think, in that PSEO area.
Well, the combination of the PSEO and advanced placement courses,
Yes.
you can chop a year sometimes off of a 4-year program.
We have students at Riverland that some of our high school students will get their 2 years. By the time they graduate from high school, they actually have gotten that done. I'm just going to give a shout out to the Hormel Foundation, because in Austin we actually, starting this fall, they will offer free 2 years of college education.
Business,
And that's a great philanthropic opportunity, and the students have to meet certain criteria, but that's going to help them to get the education that they may need that gets into the workforce. So, not every child needs to be looking at a 4-year degree or beyond, but they certainly should be looking at some post-secondary education because they need something. And unfortunately, our high schools are not able to provide as much of the career tech ed that they used to. So we need to match up as much as we can with our tech college system to make sure that students can get that workforce education, be able to prepare for whatever that job might be.
So, Gene, in that program, would the students have to come back then after their 2 years and to put in some work time with Hormel, or is no strings?
It's the foundation, so it's the kind of the family foundation that is providing that, and they've done similar things for kind of selected students, but now they're going to open it up. So all of the students that are Austin Public Schools as well as the Pacelli Catholic School. So students are definitely thinking about staying close to home and getting those first 2 years done.
Sure. There's some real good public-private relationships like that out there, and it's quite exciting. And when you talk to a young student who's doing the PSEO program, it's really exciting to hear that I'm going to be already a year ahead before I even graduate from high school. That's exciting. So
We had a member of the legislature from the St. Paul area talking about, who happens to be his career happens to have been in the trades, talking about how trade unions had been particularly aggressive about matching candidates for employment with dollars for education, and also businesses who've come through the door to help in that regard. So these are all worthwhile things to pursue.